So next adventure is to get through this gas tank. I open the cap and it smells really bad. It doesn't smell like gas or like the varnish I found in the Yamaha's tank. So I decided to just open it up and really see what's going inside. Trying to get this ring off. Bunch of tabs bent. It's trying to pull the fuel sender with it, so somehow I managed to take it off. Everything looks really rusty, kinda, I don't know what it is. Really doesn't look good. Later I'll dunk it into some evaporust, but it kind of confused me. It looked kind of like rust, and then I'm trying to get a closer look into the gas tank, because at least in the filler cap it's coated with this red stuff. I think it's some sort of gas tank coating. Now the name escapes me. I used the silver looking one that was kind of smooth after it dried inside the Yamaha's tank. Of course, bolt out light bulb. So here we go. Now I can take a good look inside. It looks like a bunch of junk in there, and kind of bubbly, rusty red stuff. Really strange. Come on, focus, focus. Here we go. Yep. Should I throw in a bunch of bolts and maybe a piece of chain or something, rattle around to get to knock down all this loose stuff somehow? I'm not sure if that's a good idea, seeing those fuel pickups in there with the screen. Not sure if they will get clogged. So if anybody has any ideas how to clean this up nicely, put it in the comments. So you can see the filler cap is kind of has this red coating. I think it's called red coat for fuel tanks. But still, like the bottom of it, yeah, it looks like a bunch of junk. Feels like they didn't do a good job of cleaning it, or maybe the bottom wasn't treated, so they did it upside down not to clog the pickup tubes and stuff. Looks like North Georgia Radiator got their hands in it. So I threw in this fuel sender unit because it was also covered in rust and red stuff. Well, I couldn't tell if it was coating or rust or the mix of both, so I just darped it in some old evaporust that's been through multiple cycles. It's black already. Still worked alright. I had to sit there, let it sit there for I think 24 hours. I scraped off some bigger chunks and dumped it in there again. So eventually I think I got all of that nasty stuff out of it. I wasn't sure if the winding was alright, because it's basically a variable resistor, and there's an arm moving across the windings. So I'm just gonna drop everything back into the evaporust and wait another 24 hours and see if this gets all this nasty stuff out of it. Yeah, another splash. Yeah, I think I need a new bottle of this. Maybe get a gallon next time. Really works well on the rusty parts. Leaves kind of blackish carbon film where the rust was and doesn't need the metal. So another 24 hours. Looks pretty good. I think that the evaporust is done. Has like a milky foam on top. So I cleaned this out nicely. Couldn't get the last piece of cover out of it. Yeah, I just went in there with the hands. It's not an acid base, so it doesn't hurt your skin. So I washed it out real well with some electronics cleaner too. I think I had a can of deoxit somewhere, and hooked it up to the multimeter to actually check if it's actually working. The multimeter itself is auto sensing, so it just once you move it, it just tries to start from the beginning again and drop to the level that it feels like it. So I think it's about 80 ohms and goes down to about 30 ohms, empty to full. So I consider this part as working part. Next, let's get on and kind of get this tank cleaned out and painted. So put me in the comments, what should I do about this red stuff and junk inside the tank.